Good evening from Paris, live at Roland-Garros with you to round up another day's play, most of which has been spent dodging and getting caught up in rain showers with the odd bit of thunder and lightning thrown in. On its way round up of the day's play, thoughts from those involved and the very latest from inside the heart of the second Grand Slam of the year, the French Open. Very important to us that you get in touch with us. Use the hashtag RG17 and we're going to be going through some of your comments and questions and bringing those to you later in the show. And don't forget, it doesn't stop when we go off air. Keep using that hashtag RG17. We will keep across them because we are with you every single night. Action still taking place. Alongside me in the studio, Nick and Camille. And Camille, the first thing is, we've been talking about the weather all day. It was meant to rain at midday. We've had a few showers. At times it's looked like the end of the world, but so far not too bad.
Yeah, I don't understand still. It's very dark. There was lightning and the game is still on, you know. And last year the weather was a disaster, and it was very nice. And today, I don't know, like the game is there, and we're happy because we are very surprised.
Yeah, we can't talk about last year because it's so depressing, and it's still a very painful memory that it rained every single day. Nick, that means the action continues. They haven't had to abandon or suspend play due to the weather. Venus Williams has only just taken to the court behind us, caught Philippe Chatrier, and already it's advantage to the American against her Belgium opponent, Elise Mertens.
Yeah, Venus Williams has looked so strong in this tournament. We see her here on Chatrier taking on Elise Mertens. And out of the gates quickly is V. She said she's happy to be back on the clay, her 20th Roland-Garros.
It's incredible, a 20th Roland-Garros.
Yeah, it's amazing because she doesn't change. Like for us, it's natural to see her, you know,
Yes.
playing.
Yeah.
And when we see, those statistics and the 20th, it's like it's amazing that she feels that good, you know. On her game and also physically, because she used to have some problems, and now she's 36 years old and she's still fit and she's still very good on court.
That's incredible. And the reason that they're only just taking to the court is because we had a bit of a cracker involving Novak Djokovic, the defending champion, and Diego Schwartzman, such a tricky customer on clay. Novak Djokovic came through in 5 sets, and Camille, this was a match you were commentating on.
Yeah, it was a very strange match. Djokovic was playing not very aggressive, and Schwartzman, he came on court without any complex. Like he got there, he was hitting the ball so hard, and Djokovic, as if he was surprised, you know, that to see that level. And in the end, well, he has more experience, and he got a level maybe 80% of what he could do. He started with 50 maybe. So Schwartzman pushed him in in a position where he was in difficulty, and he reacted very well to win this match. But it was a very tight match for Djokovic. Maybe interesting for the rest of the tournament for him. He's going to have a reaction with this match, and he's going to be better for sure for next round.
Absolutely, but I think something that people are going to be talking about, maybe not the tennis, was an altercation, an interaction, a conversation he had with Carlos Ramos, the chair umpire, Nick.
Yeah, Carlos Ramos had given him a warning, a time violation warning for taking too long, and then you can see here Novak approaching the chair because he had been given a code violation.
Yeah, but Carlos Ramos is a very, very good umpire, and he's very calm. And Novak was nervous. He was nervous because he was not playing well. And I think it's normal that Carlos Ramos just gave him this warning. He has to accept it.
Well, we're going to see exactly what he did,
yes,
because he doesn't understand what he did wrong, and Carlos Ramos said it was your attitude.
Right, so right here you see it, he sort of brandishes his racket like he's going to maybe hit the ball at Carlos Ramos. You can't do that, not even in a playful way. Djokovic obviously riled up. He got broken that game, turns the tide in the last 2 sets. I'm curious to know for Djokovic, what's going to happen with Andre Agassi between now and when he plays next. This is when you want Coach Andre, his new coach, to help his charge, who went through 5 sets with Diego Schwartzman, to find that calm, because he was a little tense on court today.
Just a little bit tense. It did rain a little bit during the match, but they came through. We mentioned that Venus Williams has taken to court. There are other matches taking place. There are dark clouds around us. We are a little bit obsessed with the weather this evening. So let's go and join Eli and find out the very latest. Because, Eli, you've been looking into the weather situation for us.
Yeah, and this is the best way I can put it. Check this map out. We were supposed to get hit hard by thunderstorms as of 5 p.m. Somehow we avoided them. Looks like they floated just south under Paris. And for the moment, situation is stable out here. There's a bit of wind. gray skies, but nothing really threatening. For tomorrow, though, they're calling for about a 40% chance of showers as of midday, and then the weather should stay iffy, which is officially a meteorological term for the rest of the afternoon. So looks like it's going to be not so bad.
Okay, not so bad and a little bit iffy. I know, we'll take that. That's okay, isn't it?
Okay, I'll give it to you.
We'll take that. Iffy,
Yeah.
not so bad.
I
Eli?
like that report from meteorologist Eli.
Yeah, talking about the iffy weather. Back to the tennis for us, and it was a really sad sight a little bit earlier. Really looking forward to the match and looking forward to the run of David Goffin, the competition, with how he's been playing on clay this season. Now, he was taking on Horacio Zeballos, and we were talking about this earlier, Camille, and he was like, I almost don't want to look at it again. It looks so painful.
Yeah, I don't want to look at it. I'm going to close my eyes, because I'm going to have this image in my head. Now, I'm so disappointed for him. He's a very good player. He was in confidence. We expected a lot from him, and to end up like this is terrible. On a Grand Slam that important, I'm really sad for him.
Yeah, you can see there on the replay, Goffin sliding into the tarp at the back of the court. The ankle looked really, really bad. He eventually was helped off the court. A nice gesture from Zeballos, carrying his bag off the court for David Goffin. We've heard from David Goffin's coach, and he said no ligament tear, no break, and there's just a little bit of swelling. But scary scenes out there for David Goffin. He obviously had to retire from that match. He didn't come back on court. Zeballos through to the fourth round.
Another retirement was Guillermo Garcia Lopez. Now, he was set down in a breakdown to Milos Raonic. I believe it was a thigh problem with the Spaniard. It's never nice to see. We saw Camille yesterday with Nicolas Almagro. The knee flared up again that he first damaged in Rome against Nadal. And here we see the Spaniard Guillermo Garcia Lopez just unable to continue.
Yeah, that's tough when the body is not, ready to compete, for that. It's very long tournament. But Garcia Lopez against Raonic, it might be a very, very strong battle. But in a way, it was difficult for him to compete if he felt something on the thigh. So it's better for him to retire now rather than that is getting worse and worse. And I think he made the right decision. Yeah?
Two players who did complete their match, and we did look at this on the order of play and thought it could be a good one. Shelby Rogers, after the run she had here last year against Kristina Mladenovic, and it did live up, Camille, to its billing.
Yeah, it was an incredible match. Shelby Rogers was 5-2 up in the third. I think she got scared a little bit about finishing the match. She's used to, improving in this tournament, but this time she got a little bit scared. And Kristina, she was there. She's a great fighter, and I'm happy for her because she's in front of her crowd, and she's playing the best tennis of her career right now.
The crowd really got involved in that third set when she was down 2-5. Mladenovic won 10 points in a row, and then you see here match point. She won 25 of the last 33 points in this match. Shelby Rogers really choked at the finish line. I think we can put that simply. But to see Mladenovic come through, you see she's so happy with herself. She earns the right to play the defending champion, Garbiñe Muguruza. They've only met once before, and Kiki won that match on clay. So she's got to feel good. I think she's got to get a lot of rest, having played 2 extended third sets in her first 3 matches.
She has more confidence than Muguruza. Even if Muguruza is the defending champion, she comes she can have this match Mladenovic because she won a lot of matches before. Yeah.
Certainly has. Someone else who's got a lot of confidence on clay at the moment is Dominic Thiem. He took on Steve Johnson. There was actually a lovely moment during this match when there was thunder and lightning. They stopped at the net to have a little look and have a little chat. But aside from that, it was all business for Thiem.
Yeah, one-way traffic for Dominic Thiem so far in this tournament. He's won 9 of the 9 sets that he's played in. He hit 45 winners today against Steve Johnson. He gets Zeballos next, a little gift in the sense of Goffin going out. But these guys, when they finished their match, they had a wonderful embrace. Steve Johnson lost his dad a couple weeks ago, and Dominic Thiem, I think, passing on some words of encouragement to Steve Johnson, a very human moment at the net.
Yeah, he's a great guy. I mean, he's a great champion, a young champion, but he's still a great guy. We were talking about him the other day, and I'm really happy to see him play this way and also to come to the net more often. He's a very good clay court player from the baseline, but today against Steve Johnson, he came to the net and we could see very nice volley. And so he's improving, match after match, and he's going to be a very dangerous player. Yeah.
He certainly is. Now, for our match of the day, we have a masterclass from 9-time French Open champion Rafa Nadal.
I was able to produce winners, to play with no mistakes, to play very long, very high intensity in all the shots. So it was a great match for me.
Rafael Nadal.
Joining Camille and myself in the studio, happy to say, is Spanish journalist Marta Matia. And Marta, where do we start with that performance? 6-love, 6-1, 6-love.
When you think that he cannot surprise you anymore, then he comes and does this masterclass that you cannot expect. You don't have any words to say anymore. It's just impossible to say anything about him. And just like the right words to say, how does he do it? I don't really know, because obviously he's been practicing great. The clay court season has been great. But my God, it's amazing.
You didn't expect that, this concentration from the beginning till the end.
Exactly. You always think there's going to be a point where, I don't know, he relaxes a little bit because he sees that he's in control. No, he was just business, and probably happy to finish quite soon. It was like a really short match. So.
Well, I was thinking he might have seen the weather forecast and thought,
that's it. Probably that was it. Because I was thinking he doesn't like storms. He doesn't like thunderstorms. So he was probably like, I really need to get out of here.
Yeah, the last game he played really quickly,
Exactly.
the crowd was shouting and he was like playing, with usually he's more like, okay, waiting for people to sit down. He's like, okay, he started to serve and he wanted to go to the locker room, definitely.
Is there a lot of talk in Spain about La Decima, that he is once again building up to another decima? He's had the double decima already in Monte Carlo and Barcelona. Is talk dominated by that in Spain or not at all?
It is. Like, the word now is La Decima, because obviously Real Madrid is going to go for the duodecima, I think. So Rafa wants to go for La Decima, his own decima. And it's a lot of talk. Although it's tricky in Spain because everybody thinks that Rafa already has a trophy. And we need to tell them, you need to wait. Like, there's loads of rounds still. He's a huge favorite, but you need to wait and see how it progresses.
You mentioned Real Madrid. So I think his longest answer today in English was about Real Madrid against Juventus in the Champions League final this Saturday. So have a quick listen.
Yeah, very close match. No, it's obvious that anything could happen. Juve, I think, didn't only receive 3 goals in the whole Champions League, so it's going to be so difficult. And Madrid, probably one of the teams with more potential to score goals. And I think have a complete team in all defensive midfield and then offensively, it's very complete team too. No, so it's going to be a interesting match. I think for Madrid will be so important to score before than Juve, because defensively Juve is so strong. So if Juve scores before, then gonna be tough. No, but after saying that, match is long and Madrid have a lot of potential, but I think anything could happen. It's a close final.
Marta, it was his longest answer of his press conference.
Probably in English, although in Spanish, no, it was just the longest answer. But I mean, he's a huge Real Madrid supporter, so you can see him like going to matches when he can, and he has a day off tomorrow, so he can
And
watch
it's his
it.
birthday tomorrow. He's
Exactly.
31
So
tomorrow.
imagine that would be a really nice birthday present as well. So
Could be the
But
perfect
he's
birthday.
analyzing as if he was talking about his match. I was very serious, and he's so funny. I really like this
it's
guy.
like
you
a
know?
pundit.
Yeah.
It is.
Like
It's
he analyzes everything really well.
Yeah, he loves sports,
Yeah.
and for him it's normal to analyze, football or as if he's a champion in tennis, but he speaks like he was anybody, like.
Yeah, it's incredible. Now, we've got a little live update for you, Marta. You won't know this yet, but Albert Ramos Vinilas has taken the 4th set. So we've got Spain against France here in the studio.
Ooh.
But he's fighting back, Marta,
Let's fight,
against
Marta.
Luca Pouille. And this was always going to be a really tough one. Luca Pouille, the highest seeded player, but Ramos Vinilas had a great season on clay.
Yeah, and I could see that this was a 5-set thriller, like all the way, because obviously Luca is a very, very talented player, but Albert is doing a huge clay court season, and he has a really great result to defend from last year, so he's really focused. He had a disappointment in Madrid, he knew, and he really wanted to put everything back in place and play like the way he knows that he can play.
It was a good morning for the Spaniards. There was the sad retirement of Guillermo Garcia Lopez that we saw, but Roberto Bautista Agut, Pablo Carreño Busta, they went out on court, they did what they needed to do, and they came back in. It felt very straightforward for those two players.
It looks easy, but it's not. We are so used to have Spaniards going through later rounds here because they are clay court specialists. They've grown up in these sort of surfaces. But with Roberto, usually we forget about him. And he is very consistent. He always goes, usually, I don't know the stat, but he's been going through second weeks of Grand Slams like quite often lately. And in Pablo's case, Grigor Dimitrov, everybody was expecting him to go through. Pablo was like, I'm growing up as a tennis player. I'm having my own time. But I'm growing up and like growing up in confidence. And you can see him. He's changed so much over the last years. He's now a confident player, sure of what he's doing. And be careful, Milos Raonic, because he's ready.
Well, again, he does it, Pablo Carreño Busta, like Roberto Bautista Agut, very quietly.
Yeah, but he's, for me, as you said, he was like a young boy coming on court, and I could see this change, and I think it is good. There's Rafa Nadal is just the mountain. They are behind, but they can grow, without having all the sunshine, but maybe it's better for them because then they can go higher and higher,
Exactly.
and without having problems, just about being famous, and sometimes it helps.
Yeah, you
that's
don't
what I
have the
think.
spotlight, therefore you can have it's impossible to compare themselves to Rafa, so it's really easy for them to release that pressure and just go on court and do what they have to do. They don't think about, okay, this is the run that I have to reach. They forget about that. They just go and play.
Someone who has a little bit more of a spotlight on her is Garbiñe Muguruza.
But she loves it. She loves the spotlight, and you can see. I was worried because the results previous coming to Roland-Garros were a little bit up and down. Here, she changes completely. She has a Chatrier sort of protection. When she comes in, she's a different player. She's been through different, and really tough opponents, and she's doing great. Kiki will have a difficult match, although she won the previous match, again, the only match they played together. But I think that Garbiñe knows exactly what she needs to do.
And she has good memories, good feelings inside. And I think it's very important for a player, even if she doesn't play that good before, to come back here. I think all the positive, feelings she used to have last year, they're going to come back. And I think it's going to be a great fight against Kiki.
Yeah.
That is confident, definitely confident. Muguruza a little bit less, but it's going to be a good fight between the two, yeah.
Marta, thank you for coming in. You've had a really busy day with all the Spanish players, so I'm sure you've still got lots of work to do. So thank you for your time. And I know you're not a Real Madrid fan, but maybe you'll
fine.
keep an eye on the match tomorrow.
Well, maybe it's going to be Juve's time. I don't know. Thank you for having me.
Thank you very much for coming in.
Thank you.
And as we've been talking about the Spanish players, we can now hear from a man who came through against the Spanish player earlier today. And as Marta said, he's going to have a tough test against Pablo Carreño Busta in the next round. It's the 5th seed Milos Raonic. And a little bit earlier, he spoke to Nick.
Milos Raonic, happy to welcome you to Live at Roland-Garros. So far, so good for you at the French Open.
Yeah, it's been a pretty positive start to this tournament for me. I'm here through to the 4th round. I've played good tennis so far. And I haven't spent too much time on court, which is also a bonus leading into what's going to be a very difficult, hopefully long second week.
And for you, proving, I think, this season that big guys can play on clay. Quarterfinals in Rome, semifinals in Lyon. You were runner-up in Istanbul. Do you feel like you've come into your own on clay, or is this just an extension of the good play you've put in the past?
Yeah, I think it's I've learned to deal with this surface better mentally, physically, and the instances that I have to face throughout difficult matches, and I've been having positive results. So hopefully I can go into uncharted territory here at Roland-Garros and take it much further than I have ever before.
You've hit over 40 aces this tournament, 86% of first serve points won, and you ended your second round match hitting 4 aces in a row. You don't see that very often. Is the serve as effective on clay as the other surface? Because we often talk about the serve maybe gets neutralized by the clay, but you're proving that wrong.
Well, yeah, it worked. If you hit the spots, doesn't matter where it is, that box is big enough that you can run the ball away from your opponent. So you have to be a little bit more disciplined. You have to be a bit more precise in hitting your spots. And you also have to be a bit more patient as in changing the rotations a little bit. Because if you start doing the same thing, the guy can get into sort of rhythm and a groove quite easily on the surface relative to other surfaces.
Roland-Garros for you, second week. You're into it again, I think, for the third time in your career. Is it different than the second weeks of the other majors for you? Are the expectations different, or you're still there fighting for the trophy?
I'm here fighting for the trophy. I came here, I came to Paris, I came to play.
And when we look at looming, perhaps down the road, Rafael Nadal, I want to ask you about Rafa, 9 titles here at this event. How does anyone beat him on this surface?
You have to take the match to him. If you let him get comfortable, obviously, he knows winning on this surface like no one else, and probably like no one else ever will, at least in my opinion, in the near future. So you have to really take the match to him, and he's been playing fantastic on clay this year, especially when he's confident, feeling the ball well, which he is right now. It makes it more of a difficult task, but, you know, nobody's invincible.
You beat Rafa before in your career. You have not beaten him on clay. What do you feel like specifically you need to do to overcome that test?
Serve well and rip a lot of forehands.
Pretty simple, right? Straightforward.
Sounds that way.
Well, thank you, and we wish you the best of luck, Milos.
Thank you very much.
Sounds like a good game plan, doesn't it? I can tell you that Svetlana Kuznetsova had a match point against Zhang Shui, but Zhang Shui has fought back, so that one is still ongoing. But in the meantime, Venus Williams, who came out quite late, we mentioned it's her 20th Roland-Garros. Camille, she's closed out the first set against Elise Bertens from Belgium.
Yeah, well, we're not surprised. She just keeps moving forward. She's so powerful. And Mertens, for me, doesn't have, you know, the power to maybe go and fight. And she's serving so good, Venus. I'm impressed.
Yes, and Serena Williams in the crowd. Social media has confirmed it. She's here again, Sister Serena, to support Venus.
That's lovely to see that Serena Williams is here. And yes, it has been all over social media. And don't forget to get in touch with us. Use the hashtag RG17. Now, we're going to check in with Eli. And Eli, you are keeping a close eye on Timea Bacsinszky.
I am. I was on court number 1 waiting for her, but they changed courts. So we ran over to court number 3. We're on it. Bacsinszky playing against Ons Jabeur here and trying to qualify into the round of 16. Bacsinszky, I spoke to her earlier this week, and she is in a great place right now. She loves being in Roland-Garros. A couple of years ago, she kind of fell out of love with tennis, but put a lot of work back into it, and now she's feeling very, very confident.
Ready to go back into tennis again because I worked a lot with a psychologist, so probably before it was too painful for me to imagine myself being a tennis player again. But yeah, with all of that hard work on my childhood and those things which could bother you as a human being, because honestly, everybody needs a psychologist, my point of view. Some maybe more and some less. I needed a lot of therapy. But I think now I learned so much about myself, and so it helped me definitely to grow up as a tennis player and as well as a woman.
Camille, it's incredible that she was working in the hospitality industry, and she found this email to say that she had qualified for French Open qualifying, a racket in the boot of the car, in she went, and here she is.
Yeah, it's a great story. Really, and she's so fresh. She's a very nice girl, very natural, very normal. And she was very good when she was a junior. Like, she didn't, come, okay, I'm coming, I'm playing tennis. Oh, it works. Like, no, she was very good, but she had some family problems and this injury. And she said, and I think she's right, that everybody should, go and have something deep inside that you work on for your job, for your business, for your family, and to be a tennis player. And she feels so fresh, so nice on court, and she's having fun, even better than before. And I think it helped her, playing that good now.
Yeah, it certainly does. And you can see that she's having fun out on the tennis court. Now, what we've done, because we have had 6 days now, and we wanted to put together a few moments from the tournament so far. So maybe this is the first time you've joined us. We've just picked out a few things that have stood out for us. I have to say there was an incredible racket smash in there from Nick Kyrgios, which I'm sure got social media going. What else is trending?
Yeah, I mean, the racket smashes always get going on social media. But we talked about Serena Williams yesterday. Today it's been Andre Agassi who's really been blowing up the social media. He talked to Boris Becker earlier today on Eurosport and told him this: I do it on my own time, I do it on my own dime, essentially revealing that he's coaching Novak Djokovic for free. Here, Andre is. Kind of an interesting anecdote, and I think Boris was surprised to hear that. Andre also sharing on social media a throwback post. It's not Throwback Thursday. We can call it Flashback Friday. His 1999 final. He went on to win that. There's his old trainer, Gil Race. What about that throwback? Went on to win that in 5 sets. He was really the talk of social media. It shows that you can never be too old for social media. Andre Agassi. I love that.
Exactly. Although we've got to get Camille on social media, and I'm still a bit dodgy with social media.
No social media. We need to start a hashtag to get Camille on the show on social media.
Get Camille on social media. It's quite
That's a little too long.
It's not catchy. We're going to work on that.
To fight, guys.
Yeah, maybe you've got an idea. Hashtag RG17. If you come up with something a little bit smaller. Now, something we love to show, we love to bring you, because no one else gets access to this, is the locker room footage. We've got cameras inside the locker room, and basically we just sit, as you're going to do now, and enjoy what we see.
Bienvenue au vestiaire homme.
Sur le confiné de Chatouillet, Thiago Montego, Gaël Monfils.
Ah putain, toi aussi tu kiffes. Bravo. Ça va, bravo.
Attends, mais pardon. Bravo pour hier.
Merci.
Bravo.
On est là, on est là.
Honestly, I could just sit and watch that all day. Right, time is against us, so we're going to go straight to the order of play for tomorrow, and there are some cracking matches. Let's start with Philippe Chatrier. I have a feeling that our match of the day might come from Philippe Chatrier. Alizé Cornet against Agnieszka Radwanska, followed by Andy Murray against Juan Martín del Potro.
Ooh, that's the
There's
one.
Richard Gasquet against Gael Monfils, and then Svitolina Linette is the last match on Philippe Chatrier. Moving on to Susan Longland, just to get all these matches out there for you. Feliciano Lopez against Mary Cilic, Daria Kasatkina, a junior champion here against another junior champion here in Simona Halep, Stan Wawrinka against Fabio Fognini. If they both turn up, that's going to be a lot of fun, and Sevastova against Martic. So pick, Camille, your match of the day.
I should pick, the Gasquet Monfils, but I will pick Murray Del Potro because I'm very excited to see how Del Potro is gonna fight to go and win this match. I think he can make it.
And
Nick?
for me, it's Susan Longland. I want to see how Kasatkina stacks up. She's been on the rise, taking on Simona Halep. That's going to be a very, very creative match out there.
Nick, Camille, it's been a pleasure. We'll get you on social media, and thank you very much both.
Thank you.
Once again. I'm also going to go for Murray Del Potro. I think it's going to be an amazing match. We'll be back with reaction to that, as long as it hasn't rained and it has finished at 7 o'clock tomorrow night. But in the meantime, we'll leave you with a little look ahead to what could be a blinder on Philippe Chatrier. Andy Murray, world number 1, against Juan Martín Del Potro. Bye for now.
I think it's a tough match. I mean, not easy. Third round. He's, in my opinion, one of the best players in the world. When he's fit and healthy, I definitely feel like I'm capable of winning that match. I mean, I'm playing way better than I was 2 weeks ago.